Let's just get rid of this. How do I do that? Hold on.
I thought only the live presentation from Microsoft has those kind of glitches.
Yeah.
There were a lot of little circles going round and round.
I know.
I was doubting my own computer and my own internet access. And I was panicking to see what the heck. I reset everything this morning, and then I see these circles spinning. And no, it wasn't me. It was them.
And then it started over again.
Yes. Yep.
And then it started doing it again, and then it caught up. So
yep.
Well, welcome everyone. Let me just introduce everyone. Well, everyone knows this, right? So this Tech for Senior Live today. Welcome everybody out there. We're broadcasting, of course, to Facebook and YouTube. Welcome to everyone listening today. You might have noticed something a little bit different in our intro, other than that great music that you didn't see me dancing in the background there, but that was pretty cool music. Anyway, we've added, of course, a new image on our group, and that, of course, is Bill James. And Bill will be here when Hewie goes for lunch the third Thursday of each month, right?
Yep, and he can join us any other time too. If you want.
Guess that's true. Yeah, I was just doing a presentation over in Oklahoma, and he was at his computer club meeting, so he's there now. So that's probably a bit of a conflict for Bill, but we look forward to having Bill many times on the show and having lots of fun. For those of you, I don't think we need to introduce you guys. I think, does anybody not know Bob and Hewie? Of course, we have our show on Monday, we do, and Hewie and I are co-hosting that. Well, Bob is, you've been there since day one. You're doing the security for us, and that's great. We have a really great time on Monday. So if you haven't visited us on Monday, please come over. You can find us at www.tech4senior.com. Just go there and you can get all the information about that. And the other thing is, Hewie and I, in about another, 2 hours now, we'll be doing our Learning Chromebook session. If you haven't signed up for that, or you have a Chromebook and you want to learn something about it, please come along and we'll help you and talk about Chromebook issues. That should be fun. Aside from that, we're going to have a great day today. We have some people already in the waiting room listening, but what we were talking about earlier was, of course, the big announcement. I was doing another presentation in Oklahoma, so Bob and Hewie know all about the Windows 11 release, but the only part that I watched was I was ready on the start again, and I was watching the video and the YouTube video, and it crashed, and I thought, it's a Windows thing.
Okay.
So, okay, guys, tell me what's going on. Are we getting Windows 11, or what's happening?
Yeah, it's definitely, I was wrong. It's going to be called Windows 11.
Yeah.
Yep. We were both wrong.
One of the comments that I listened to was Satya Nadella. I can't pronounce his name right.
Satya Nadella?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, one of the things he says is go out today and get a Windows ready computer. That kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it's available on computers today in the stores. I haven't had time to go check Best Buy or Amazon to see, but they didn't say anything about upgrading or updating or what machines it will run or not run on or anything like that. They were just pushing the all of the benefits, all of the things that I kind of showed on Monday. Uh, uh, just some of the highlights of it. One of the other things is they're going to be intertwined with Xbox a lot. So you're going to be able to run a lot of Microsoft, the games that you would run on an Xbox, you're going to be able to run on your PC. And the other thing, the surprise was you're going to be able to run Android apps on Windows.
Right.
Which is one of the neat things about a Chromebook. And the comments on the Verge blog when this was said was, oh, I may have to stop promoting my Chromebooks because of this. I don't think that's a major issue because Windows is still going to take. They're saying it's going to be easy. Updates are going to be in the background and so on, but I still think it's Chromebooks are going to be a lot easier to use.
Lots of that is going to depend on the kind of equipment you have.
Yeah.
If you have a powerhouse, all things will be possible. If, like most people, you're looking at 4 gig or 8 gigabytes of RAM, it may not be quite as smooth as they lead you to believe during that video. They're also talking about all kinds of graphic improvements, but you have to have the graphic cards to do that.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the hardware requirements are, what the upgrade paths are going to be, if there are going to be any.
My main concern was what they didn't answer is, where's the download? I want to install it. Yeah. I don't want to get it from some fly-by-night. I can do that very easily. But there's no way to know if you're getting it from somebody that's not Microsoft, whether you're getting something that's been hacked and you wind up with a compromised system. That's not what I'm looking to do. But they didn't answer that question.
No, and I have an older Surface, which is a Microsoft product, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to even install it on that. And that would be where I would do it first before I do it on my main machine. And I'm not sure because they didn't say what the requirements are going to be. And that machine doesn't have a lot of oomph because it is an older machine.
Did you get the impression that there's going to be an upgrade from Windows 10 to 11, or will this only be on new machines?
They did not say anything about it.
From what I have read is, yes, there will be an upgrade.
But all that was guessing. We haven't heard.
Well, we guessed. You and I guessed that there will not be an 11. We were wrong.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're not wrong on this assumption that you'll be able to upgrade what you currently have. But then I also remember the promise that this will be Windows 10 is the last operating system you'll ever use. But then I also remember Google said, store all your photos forever. Yeah. With no limitations. Okay, we're wrong on that one also.
Interesting. Yes. Well, now do you know? Did they talk? I guess they didn't give a timeline, eh? Like what are we talking about here?
No details of what to do. Or like I said, the only comment was go out today and get a Windows 11 ready today, is what was said, and that surprised me. And that I need to check on, but I'm sure we'll see some things. And then they have another meeting. They have another couple of meetings. Say they have one that's going to be for developers, especially for the games, but also for the program. They're making things easier for developers to develop because obviously the attraction to Windows will be the programs, and so they want a lot of people creating programs. So you want to use Windows to use that program.
Now,
But
he stated no fees to developers. That's
right.
that's a
Yeah.
big thing, because any other platform, you're giving percentage of your development away to the other platforms, and they
Yeah.
said none. Now, how long that'll last, who knows?
Well, one of the things Paul Thurrott talks about is, the how poorly the Google, or sorry, the Microsoft Store has done. There's been very few people wanting to write programs for the Microsoft Store, and whereas the Apple Store and the Google, I mean, it's hugely successful, right? But Microsoft this has been fallen flat. Nobody wants to write any Microsoft.
Supposedly, they've done a total revamp of the Microsoft Store. Not only for the user, but also for the developer. So,
and they're also making movies available through the store that you can watch movies through it. And I would imagine some are going to be free, some will have costs to them, because they're going to want you to use that facility to get used to doing it. So I'm sure they're going to give, like you can use on the Roku. There's free Roku movies, and on the Fire TV, there's free movies, and then there's ones you rent and buy. I'm sure that's what they're going to do with the Microsoft Store too.
Clark Walker on the chat has something that you might want to bring up.
Okay,
something that comes from Tech Radar.
Okay, let's see who's listening. We'll go through the comments. Olive Cousin is I guess we answered her question. She's wondering 10.9.8.7. What are we going to call this thing? We will certainly yes. And what the one good thing about Windows 11 means, we can write lots of articles, and it's good. Lots of stuff to talk about, right?
Yeah. My Windows gig is going to continue pretty well. I got some material to work with.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah. Stu said, so is Windows 11 free to Windows 10 users? Hardware, we don't know. Hardware requirements may not allow older users to move up. One of the things that, again, Paul Thurrott talked about, and I'm not sure about this, is the legacy of the 32-bit operating system, which, of course, Windows 10 has to support all that legacy stuff of things that, the old programs that have been around for a long time. And this adds to the bulk of the Windows 10 product. And he was saying that Windows 11 may not support Win 32-bit operating systems anymore. So
that's not what I heard during the presentation. They mentioned Windows 32-bit. And they didn't say they were discontinuing. They were talking about supporting.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And if that's the case, then you're still going to have some of the old legacy drawbacks.
Mm-hmm. And Ola says, hi from sunny Oregon. Yes, indeed. So it's been really hot here. Now, it's not as hot as Florida, or it's not as hot as Mesa and everything like that. So, however, my air conditioner didn't work. So I had the heat pump repair guys up yesterday. Guess who needs a new heat pump? So I'm not in a very good mood today, guys. This is not a great day today.
There goes all the toys for a few months.
Yeah, that's right. Stu's from Dunedin, Florida, which is Dunedin up on the Panhandle? Is that up?
No, Dunedin's just north of Clearwater, just north of northwest of Tampa.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, Miami had that big problem this early during the night, actually, where that big building, part of it collapsed, and who knows how many people got. Yeah. Who knows how many people are dead, injured, because they're still trying to dig out.
Yeah. Detler's still in Berlin waiting. He can't I guess they haven't opened up yet. However, that's the good news is we can broadcast to Europe. We can say we're in Europe, right? So we do want you to come home, but it is cool that we can say that we're broadcasting.
He's waiting on news about the Windows. So
yeah. Are there restrictive hardware requirements? Will DSL users have to have a large bandwidth? I don't think the DSL would be a change in bandwidth, although things are getting faster and faster, as we go along. But I don't see the bandwidth as being an issue. And I'm not sure. Did they talk about hardware requirements? I would. I would think the hardware requirements, unless you have really limiting hardware, is anything that's being made in the last 3 or 4 years would probably run, eh? I mean,
Well,
that would be.
you're talking about, and I don't know that I wrote down the term. It's a super HDR for the gaming, auto HDR, they call it. And I don't know whether older graphics cards are going to be able to handle any of that.
Right.
The weakest link on my desktop is the graphics card.
Right.
That they skimped on. Everything else I'm fine. Lots of RAM, lots of storage, and I'm probably going to have to change a graphics card on here.
And I can't.
Clark said, I had no problem since I switched to my iPad. Well, it's very interesting because Apple with their M1 chip and, the way they're going, I mean, the wind is really blowing in their favor right now. I mean, they're looking pretty sweet with this M1 chip. So it'll be interesting to see how many people just say, that's it, I don't want to deal with Windows 11 and just move on to the Apple.
Yeah, but developers are really, Apple takes 30% of what their programs through their Apple store, and the only way you can get programs is through the Apple store. So every program that you purchase or is through the Apple store, and they get 30% of it. So a lot of developers don't like that.
Nope.
Mm-hmm. Pat says, or Liz says, hi from Ohio. Pat, hi from Louisiana. My granddaughter was wrong about the name too.
Yep. Don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got intro on that too. So.
Clark Walker said, I thought the new UI looked just like a Chromebook.
Yeah, that's because the taskbar is now in the center.
Yes.
To look like it. But if you don't like it in the center, you can move it. You can move it over to the right. So.
Yep.
I don't care. Just don't change anything. I know where everything is. I don't care if it's on the left side, the right side. Just don't move it.
There's the question.
From Tech Radar, Windows 11 will be out this holiday season. Now, what's that, Christmas? Or is that...
Well, holiday season starts anytime starting from September on.
But in the meantime, you can download a tool to see if your okay. So there's a tool out there, probably a compatibility tool.
Yep.
My question is, where is that compatibility tool coming from? If it comes directly from Microsoft, fine.
Right.
Otherwise, I want to know where it comes from.
Yeah, usually Microsoft does have a tool like that. So.
My feed failed, so I only saw the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, Richard, I hung in there, so it did come back. It first came back it's starting over again, and then it came back and it caught up.
Yeah, good old Windows.
Yeah, and I talked to, and Mike Ungerman called me in a panic saying he was trying to watch it, and the little thing was going round and around and around too. So, and I had it on my PC, and then it was going around on the Chromebook, and then it was on the Chromebook, and it wasn't on the PC. So it was. They definitely had a lot of people watching.
So it'll be interesting to see what Vail, Vail logs in each Thursday, and I think I've told you that Vail is my partner in crime at Silver Ridge, and he's the brains behind the operation. He's in our tech support, and Vail and I do tech support. But Vail is a Windows insider, and he does a lot of work with Windows. So I'll be interested to see what his thoughts are. Actually, I think his thoughts are coming up. He says he just bought an iPad.
If anybody in the audience can go while we're on and grab a link to that tool and drop it in the chat box, we'd appreciate it, and then we can share it with everybody.
Chandra says hi from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Vail says, "Yeah, that is why I purchased an Apple 27-inch machine." You're not abandoning Windows. Come on now. Are you giving up Microsoft? He's a Microsoft insider. All right. Well, that's the comments so far. All right. Let's. Do you want to do some news stuff, or what do you want to have another cup of coffee, or do you want to do some? Do you want to look at some news articles? Do you want to talk?
We can here a while. How you go?
All right. Let's do some. Let me share my screen, and we will do some news articles and see. Yeah. We'll share. All right. What do you think? Do you want me to enlarge this a bit, Judy?
Yep.
Was that a bit more?
Keep going.
You got your glasses on?
Yeah.
Make it bigger so people can see it.
Yeah.
All right.
We really don't care about message page. We're interested in the main part.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe a little bit more.
Keep going and then go to the right.
Where are we here? Oh yeah, we got to get over to the right. Just been here. That's the problem. How do we do that?
There you go. Well, now you're going the wrong way. You just went the wrong way.
Yeah. The problem is I can't. There we go. I think that's about as far as we can go. We'll take this off. Okay. What I put on here to start with, I thought, let's go back up here. Let's go back up to the top. Yeah, so this is an interesting article. I put this on this morning. I thought, so this came on the news feed first thing this morning, and it was Paul Thurrott. Now, today we are announcing Windows 11, and what does Paul want to write about is nothing to do with Windows 11.
He wrote about that. He wrote about that days ago. That's why.
Yeah, but you thought I would be on today. And Microsoft announces new OneDrive photo editing features, and this is from Thurrott.com. And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I looked at the article, and he does explain how some of the things that you can do. You can crop, and if it's upside down, you can turn it. You can rotate them, and there's some things that you can do to do the editing right on OneDrive, which is a convenience. So you don't have to download it, edit it, and then put it back up in the cloud, or you can edit it right there on OneDrive.
Can you put text?
Not as many editing tools in that though as there are in Google Photos.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you put text on it? Did you look at that, Hewie? Can you put text on it, or?
I didn't notice.
Okay. Anyway, just to let everyone know, and as we come down, stronger. Yes. So this is interesting. Bob, did you read this article that came out?
No, I did not.
Bob, are you familiar with the Google Authenticator? I am not familiar with it.
I'm not using the tool. I guess you are, right?
No, I'm not familiar with it.
Okay. So this
is.
Yeah, so this is the two-factor authentication. So as we all know, is in two-factor authentication, there's a second factor, and that second factor is a number that you can get from an app on your phone. And there are a number of companies that make apps to do that. They're all the same. They all work. I used to use Google Authenticator, and then I liked Authy, AUTHY. And Leo Laporte recommended it, and it's great because you can transport it around. You can put on your PC. You put all the places that you want, so it doesn't have to reside just on your phone, and so it works pretty good. However, this was actually published by by a Mac organization, and what is happening with and I read this, and with iOS 15, the authenticator will be built into the operating system, so you won't need a third-party authenticator anymore. In fact, the iOS 15 will generate the code as the second factor, so that will negate the use of any third-party authenticator apps needed for your iPhones, and
So what happens if somebody else gets a hold of the device? Do
Well,
they
that's
automatically get authenticated?
Well, again, it would depend how you log onto your device, I guess. If you have facial recognition, thumbprint, fingerprint, same thing. But the same thing would be with an authenticator app on the phone. If someone steals your phone and you don't have the proper password set up on it, they would still have any authenticator app you'd have, right? So this is a change in iOS for iOS 15, is that you won't need a third-party authenticator app to generate the code. It will generate it within the software, and I thought that was sort of cool.
That Authy that you use, is there a cost to that?
No, it's not Anki. It's Authy, Authy, and it's Authy, Authy, and it's an app. It's an authenticator. These are all time-based apps. So how people always ask me how these work, and well, Bob probably knows this. But so what happens is when you take when you get an app and you put the app on your phone, then what happens is you when you go like to Google will then bring up a QR code when you're setting this up, and the app on your phone then reads the QR code, and bingo, there's a connection made. And what happens then is it's just a timer, right? It starts the timing sequence, and it generates these random 6-digit numbers all the time. And these numbers continue to get randomly generated. And the reason that the bad guys can't figure this out is because they don't know the time in which the two are linked together. And this is a time-based authentication. And that's how and they all work the same way. It doesn't matter which app you get. Google makes them, Microsoft makes them, Authy makes it, and even LastPass has an authenticator app. I mean, they're not that difficult. It's just a timing sequence that starts the clock ticking. And but the thing about Authy that's really cool is that it's you can put it on your PC, you can put it on multiple phones. And also, if you get a new phone, you just reinstall the app on your phone, and you've got all the code. You don't have to redo all the authentication protocols. So it works pretty good. Okay, let's go over here. Bob, you posted the next one. No, that's Microsoft Event. And here's the. Do we need to talk about the Windows 11 anymore? I think we've sort of gone past that. Then Bob, you put this on. This was an interesting article. Do you want to talk about this one? This was sort of an interesting story. Eh?
Well, the gentleman who originally started McAfee hasn't been part of McAfee for some years, because he's been a quite controversial person.
to say the
least, right? He's actually been locked up, and he's let it known to everyone that if something happens to me, it isn't because I did it. It's the same as somebody else who everybody said, oh, he just strangled himself. And of course, it turned out not to be that way. Well, he's now dead, supposedly from hanging himself.
Right.
And
they were about to, he was in a Spanish prison.
Right. And he was about to be sent back to the U.S. to face charges.
Yep. On tax charges, actually.
Right.
Yeah. And then
but now he's dead. And of course, your controversy is it's posted all over that if something happens to me, I didn't do this. They did it to me. And he's talking about Uncle Sam having nixed him. So we'll see. Conspiracy theories, here we come.
Oh, boy. Interesting, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed, indeed. All right. Well, that was interesting. Bob, talk about this. Man, this Wise stuff. Are you buying this as well? You're going to have more gadgets than I do.
One of them has to do with weather, and the other one has to do with checking to see whether or not you got a leak. But most people, when they check for leaks, the device that checks for it, it's through the roof price-wise. This one here was $20-something bucks. So, For that, you can have a bunch of them. I didn't buy one because I don't have anything I have to check for leaks for. Dishwasher never ever gets used. I'm the dishwasher in the house. My wife's the cook, and I'm the dishwasher.
Yeah. So, well, I think that.
But the very, very inexpensive, and this gets hooked right into your home alarm system.
Yeah.
That's the part that makes this very, very nice.
Yeah.
I use their home alarm system.
Yeah, if you don't have their home alarm system, you don't get their leak detector.
Well, yeah, it'd be silly to buy one. This is a separate thing. You don't get it as part of the basic package, just like the cameras are add-ons, but they're inexpensive cameras.
No, but you have to have the system for it to work.
Correct.
Murray says, good morning from beautiful, sunny, and not too hot British Columbia. Murray, you probably have your air conditioner that works. Mine doesn't. I'm coming to Victoria to visit you, Murray. Murray, HSB has an external device called an HSB, which is Authy and others. HSBC, is that the bank? Yeah, a lot of the you can buy other devices like handheld devices that do it as well. So I think that may be a bank, HSBC. Let's have a look here. Clark says, I just sent Bob and Hewie an email, which apparently B's is Windows 11 tool. Sorry, Ron, I don't have your email address. So if you guys have it, maybe you could have a look and see. Mike Ungerman says, I searched Amazon, Newegg, and Best Buy for Windows 11 and Windows 11 ready, but no results.
Okay.
Ron, I just put it into the private chat.
Okay, super. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So if they're not, that's really odd. You'd think I got a feeling this just isn't ready yet. Otherwise, they'd have all the computers, at Best Buy waiting, because you can bet it. If you go into Best Buy and you say I want to buy a new PC, are you going to buy the Windows 11 machine or the Windows 10? I mean,
I'm not even going to look for Windows 10.
Precisely. I mean, that's so the other problem's going to be, let's think about this for a minute. If they don't get the Windows 11 out real fast, that's going to kill PC sales until it comes out, right? Because nobody's going to go and buy a Windows 10 machine.
They call that the Osborne effect. Do you know why?
No.
Back in 1982, when I bought my Osborne computer, shortly thereafter, they announced the Osborne 2, or the next version of Osborne is in production, or is about to go into production. It'll be released soon. And bingo, everybody stopped buying the Osborne, and they weren't ready. And they actually they didn't have enough money, and they ended up going out of business because of it.
Oh, interesting.
So there was never an Osborne 2 because
with all the
they ran out of money.
With all the hype there's been about Windows 11, and then the announcement today, you figured they'd be smart enough to be ready for whatever questions come along.
Yeah.
But you can't find anything. I find from sites that I don't trust, I'll find all kinds of links with downloads and everything else, but I don't find anything from Windows itself that has anything to do with Windows 11. I'll be taking a look at that link that I got from Clark as soon as we get finished. Hopefully,
I will
hopefully,
too.
Yep. Hopefully it's something we can rely on. That would be nice.
I did look at the address, and it is Microsoft.com.
If it's Microsoft, then fine. I'll go with it.
I don't know why I put this. This was Costco is calling you about millennials. It was a good article. It was a long article, and I read it, and I can't remember what it was about. So anyway, I can't remember.
We're not allowed to read it. We're too old.
Yeah. I forgot about what it said. I don't know what it was.
I can also tell you that Windows insiders are still getting new bills. Now, why are we getting bills for Windows 10 for version 21H2 when there's not going to be one because it'll be Windows 11? So that's another thing I don't understand. It makes no sense.
Well, if you have a Windows 10 machine, maybe they weren't lying. There is not going to be another version of Windows on it.
Indeed, indeed. I put this article up there just to remind everybody that you can purchase more with your Google Drive. If you need to purchase more space, you can certainly do that and we do that with Google One Storage. But the other thing that a lot of people don't understand is that you can share that storage with your family. So if you do purchase another 200 gigabytes of online storage, you can certainly share that with family members. So it works out pretty cheap. I forget.
It's about $26 a year for 100 gigabytes.
And if you shared that with 4 family members, that's pretty darn cheap, right?
Yeah, but it's not much storage then.
Well, yeah. Well, it depends how much stuff you're going to put up there.
Yeah.
But
you get 15 free.
Right.
So if you divide 100 up between 4 people, that's 25. You only get an extra 10 gigabytes apiece. So.
Right. But that might be fine for people. But just to remember that you can share that storage, and I thought that's why I put that up there. And this was Bob. You put Illuminarium Experiences. You put this one up.
Mm-hmm.
What was What do you want to talk about that one, or the
link is there. You have to go there to find out. This is something that's coming soon.
Okay. All right. Well, we will look at that. Right. Well, this was Best Buy, and this was their of course their competition competition to Prime Days. Did you guys all buy something? Did anyone buy anything from Prime? Did you get anything?
Yeah, I did. I bought a bunch of little stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I missed out on a couple of things came to my attention yesterday, which was too late for Prime Day that I would have probably purchased had I known of the product that I wanted to get.
I got an extension cord that surge protector and has 3 smart plugs that I intend to use so I can shut down my router when I want to restart it easily without having to worry about unplug or crawl underneath a desk, and a couple of other things that'll be a lot easier to just software-wise shut them down and turn them back on.
Yeah, it's apparently they were doing same day delivery. Like, can you imagine sitting there in Mesa, in Arizona, and you're saying, "Gee, I want this," and you're online and you click the button, and 2 hours later, it's
delivered.
It's delivered. It was
moving. I ordered something at 3:30 in the morning, and it was delivered in the afternoon.
I got to tell you,
and then something else I ordered won't be here till Monday. So.
I got to tell you guys a funny story. I was, when I'm in Arizona, the rumor around the park is, of course, the Amazon truck stops daily at my place, right? And so I had a friend over, and he was helping me fix a cabinet. And he says, "Ron, do you have a flashlight?" And I said, "Geez," I looked all over the place. I said, "I don't have a flashlight. I'm sorry." And he says, and I said, "But just a minute, I'm going to order one on Amazon. I'll order one on Amazon." Well, I hit the button to order it. And just coincidental, the Amazon truck rolled up in front of my house. And you should have seen the look on his face. He said, "No, it isn't. He said, "I don't believe it. I don't believe it." It was so funny. I thought, it can't happen. And I thought, no, it wasn't the flashlight.
Planned it better.
Oh, it was priceless. It should have been an Amazon commercial. It was just hilarious. It was pretty funny. Now, Fitbit's top of line sensor under. Oh yeah, so the Fitbits were all cheap as heck on Prime, and for Prime Day sales, and Best Buy had them as well. So lots of things happening there. Schwinn stationary bike compatible with. Oh, yeah. Does so I guess this comes down to exercise and seniors. I guess a lot of them. I guess do you know what a Peloton is? Huey, do you guys know what the Peloton bike is? It's
Yep.
yeah.
Just reading an article. I guess in order for it to work, you got to have a subscription to it.
Yeah. It's hooked into a subscription service, and of course, prior to COVID, it really wasn't doing. The company wasn't doing very well. But then with COVID came last year, and everybody was staying at home. They went bananas. It was like crazy because they do exercise classes and spin classes and everything, but it's all connected online, right? So this is sort of interesting that they're now going to market this as an add-on for other types of cycling bikes, not just the ones they sell. So I thought that was sort of interesting.
I took another approach. Rather than increase my exercise, I increased my waist.
Indeed, yes. Yes, Samsung is going to unveil the future of smartwatches on June the 28th. So
4 days from today.
We'll just to let everybody know, I'll just review this briefly with people. As you know, there's of course we have the Apple Watch, which is Series 6, and then we have the probably the closest competition will be the Samsung Watch, which is the Galaxy 3. Now, what Samsung has always done is it's always used a proprietary software called Tizen, and Tizen is a software that ran all the watches that Samsung has produced over the years. And then what happened was, as you know, Google bought Fitbit, I guess a year and a half ago. And so now Fitbit is owned by Google. Well, Google made the announcement this past month that, of course, all the Fitbit watches would all be switching to their Android Wear operating system. And that was weird because, you know, Fitbit's a big line. They got a lot of watches, and it's like Windows 10 to 11, only a little bit bigger leap, right? And then Samsung, which was the weirdest thing, they threw the hat in with Google, and they said we're going to go and we're going to use the Google Android Wear operating system as well. So this changed the whole dynamics of everything people thought about. And so we'll have to see. I just got a feeling that Google's up to something, and we don't know what it is. So I'm sort of interested on this this event on the 28th.
Yeah, I'm looking at that, and it's saying the time is 9:15 CET. I don't know what is CET.
Central Eastern Time. I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know.
I've not seen that before, so we don't know what time it is, but it's going to be at 15 after the hour, whatever hour it is.
Get up at 4 and turn it on every hour.
Exactly. Let's have a look here. Murray says, I have a ductless heat pump, actually 2 with total 3 heads, but don't you da. Well, yeah, Murray, I'm actually looking at a ductless one. That may be the way to go. That is for sure. Windows 11 commercial briefing begins in a little over 40 minutes from now. So I guess there's another briefing, is there, Bob?
Yes,
yeah. And there's another one later on too. There's a developers meeting too sometime today.
All right. Bob, will smart plugs allow you to shut down devices for several hours and then turn them back on? We are participating in a time of use program from our power company.
It allows you to shut it off, and then it allows you to turn it on. I don't know if it's got a timer. That I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's probably an on-off switch only.
Maybe some of the hubs might have that.
That's a possibility.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't. All of mine are hubless.
It's either that, or because it works with Miss A and Mr. G, you can simply put a reminder in to automatically restart at such and such a time.
Yeah, the smart
that way.
I have the smart plug I use is actually for a towel rack. It heats the towels in the morning. I have it come on around 4 in the morning, and then it heats the towels till around 11. And I have it on a smart plug, and I can't remember the name of the company that makes it, but there's an app that goes with it, and you can time it. You can tell it when to come on and when to come off, and it's not running through a hub. It's just an app that's there. Most of these smart plugs have apps, and the apps will just tell you when you want to turn it on or off. So I think that's a pretty much no brainer. Let's see here. I think the next one here. This would be great to take advantage of the times easy. Yes. There's the link.
That's for the presentation.
For the presentation. Okay.
Finished. Over.
Well, the other ones we're having today will also be on that same one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been reading, Clark says, I've been reading, and it looks legit, so that's good.
That's the link to the tool to check and see if you're compatible. Your computer is compatible.
I have my smart plug in the family room, and I can turn it on and off several times. Yeah, that's right. Smart plug. That's how come they're smart. This is from Microsoft. Upgrade rollout plan is being finalized and is scheduled to begin in late 2021 and continue into 2022. Specific timing will vary by device. Certain features require specific hardware, so on and so forth. My heart just sinks when I think about this. How many, everything works. I got a bunch of PCs. They all work. Everything's running just fine. What's going to break when this all happens? Yeah.
I can give you some of the statistics that are required, and it specifically says a 64-bit processor, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gig or larger storage, UEFL secure boot capable, trusted platform module, graphics card DirectX 12 compatible graphics, display 9-inch with HD resolutions of 720p, and a Microsoft account and internet connectivity required for setup for Windows 11 Home.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to allow any local installs. You're going to for sure have to be involved and have a Microsoft account. Murray says the link to Windows 11 specs did not work for him. So maybe there's still.
I'm looking at it right now.
Are you?
That's where I'm getting the information from.
Okay. So I agree with Bob. Who would buy a PC now? Yeah, that's going to be a big problem. Things are going to be sort of flat on PCs. Yes, indeed, indeed. Hewie, what did you like the I got a picture of you in your new yellow shirt, and I made it the cover of our.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, I thought, oh man, you don't have your yellow shirt on today.
No, it's in the laundry.
Oh, okay.
Next time I wear it, it'll be clean.
Mopping. Yes, I'm having fun mopping. Did you guys like my video? Did you like the mopping video? Yeah.
I mean, not in a wash.
Well, I say, I'm not so. My wife's really happy. She's got a husband that's interested in cleaning the floors. Now, you got to be, that's worth that. That's worth buying the device just to get some interest, eh?
I named my device Miss A.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Miss Alice. That way, that got me off the hook.
Did you guys see? This was really interesting. This was I put this up there. This is actually a visual history of the Windows icons, and it goes back to all the icons, excuse me, that Windows had. I thought that was you could go back and look at some of these early images here of
some of us can do that from memory because we used all of those operating systems.
Yes. Some of the old icons actually have a floppy disk. And a lot of the younger people don't even know what a floppy disk looks like.
Indeed. Yes, I thought that was really quite interesting, and we should use some of those graphics for some of our newsletters. I think that'd be cool. Yes, Roborock's Robovac. You know, I was looking at this, and you know, Roborock's. I know we always think about Roomba, and of course, you guys have the Weiss, but Roborock's been around for a long time, and they make some pretty good stuff. And I was looking at some of the evaluations on it.
I don't see LiDAR on there.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, right. There's a right at the top there.
I know.
They Roborock makes a whole different series, like at Roomba, but they've been around a long time. So it's interesting. That was interesting. This was the other thing that have you heard any more about this? This is really cool. Is that heat? Now, could you imagine in Arizona with your Starlink dish tilted up like that, and it's easily going to get over 122 degrees on that dish. So they're shutting down. I guess there's a heat issue on the dishes. And so I guess that's the other question is how do you keep the darn things cool?
Yeah, I know I read somewhere that they're working on a fix for that.
Yeah.
You probably have to install an air conditioning unit right next to it.
Yeah. Well, but you know, we just think about it because they've had let's think about it though, because what's the other one's called? You know, the other satellite dishes that we've had. They're I can't remember the names of them.
DirecTV.
Yeah, DirecTV. Yeah, they've been down there and they never have any trouble. Why would this be so much different?
Maybe because this is low. One is lower in the sky. I don't know. I don't know what the signal is that has to do with it.
Yeah.
Maybe it requires, there's a heat issue with the signal itself.
They did prove that the lowest temperature, they didn't have a problem in the winter up in the Arctic areas, but I guess the heat turned out to be a problem.
Yeah. Interesting. This was an interesting article I put up there for those. So if people don't know what we're talking about here, this is our Facebook page. So what Bob, Hewie, and I do every day is as we go through the news feeds and the news services, we find interesting articles that you might be interested in. And that's what we put on we're just going through our Facebook page, and this is where we throw these articles. So if you are interested in looking at any of these articles or going back over them, just pop over to Tech for Senior Facebook page, and these articles are all there, and we probably do 20 articles a day onto the page. But these are articles that we're interested in, or we feel that you're interested in, and you can come over and just and look at them. So you don't have to have to try and find them. And so this was really interesting article on how LiDAR works. You know, people don't understand what LiDAR is and how does it work and so on, because we're getting it on vacuums and cars and Teslas, all this stuff. And I thought it was interesting how it works. So it was an interesting article. Yes, the thermal shutdown. That was the other article on that. Apple Series 7 new design. Lots of rumors about the Apple Watch. Oh, that reminds me. If anybody's out there that's listening and wants to throw a question in, now is a good time to do it because we've only got about 8 minutes left, and we're just yakking along here. If you have any questions,
Murray he says he can't get to that link, but I don't know which link he's talking about.
Right, probably the. Murray bought one of the mops, and he said I had to pay $20 more than Ron did. Thanks, Ron. Da 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 da. And but it still saved him some money. That's good. And the LiDAR has been available for many years on simple measuring devices, tapeless tape measures and stuff like that. Oh, okay. So it's been around. Interesting. He says the one about specific. Oh, that's the one you can't get to. The one about specifications.
Yeah, I just went to it, went right to it. Yep. Not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, you're getting it directly off the email, right?
Yep. I'm getting it off the link that somebody posted above where we're seeing now. Who posted it? I think Clark did. Yeah, Clark Walker posted it.
Posted, okay. Olive asked about the, of course, the glucose monitoring for watches, and that is all up in the air. I mean, I had a whole bunch of presentations ready to go. I had all sorts of stuff on glucose monitoring ready to roll on this, but we just do not know what's happening. I thought it looks as though, I mean, you get so many conflicting stories about the Apple Watch. There's lots of articles say the glucose monitoring is coming, and then there's a whole bunch that say they don't. The whole thing about the Samsung and the Fitbit is they're all going to Android Wear. And I guess my wonder is if Google's found something that works so much better than the other systems, and they're trying to amalgamate and use something, and so we'll have to wait and see. I just don't know. I got a feeling we're going to be a little while yet. Bob, have you heard any more on that? Or
I'm sorry, I was checking out that link, and I think what Murray did is he may have copied an extra space or something behind it, because the link works, and it should work no matter where.
Okay. Mike Ungerman said, sorry to hear of Ron's AC problems. We recently replaced ours with a high-tech system from Amana. Inverter technology and 21 SER resulted in much lower running costs. Yeah, well, that's the other issue is we're going to look at a bunch of different options, because with anything that's 20 years old, the efficiency and the technology from 20 years ago to now. The problem is 5 years before I retired, I bought the new train system we put in here, and I thought, well, that'll last me till I'm gone. Well, that's 20 years later. I mean, my God, it's 20 minutes. It's 20 years later now, and it didn't. It's now up for their third heat pump. So we'll just.
I'm sure Train has also progressed in their new models.
Yes,
that'll be a heck of a lot more efficient than what you currently have.
Yes. And Gerald says, any news on Ray Baxter? Well, very interesting. You should ask that. Ray sent me his music segment for Monday. I just got it this morning.
They're still not home. They still can't get there, and he still doesn't know whether or not or how he's been affected.
Right, but so far the house is okay. So So Murray says, okay, thanks. I deleted everything after and including and it worked. So he's got it working. That's great. That looks good.
Yeah, and that site does have links to some of the resellers of computers, and when you go to them, they're showing Windows 10 machines, but I guess they're going to be compatible with 11 is what they're going to. So they're going to, I'm sure, say that, well, you can buy this and Windows 11 will work on it.
Bob, I threw this up there. Facebook launches podcast live audio service. Of course, this is a paid service. And of course, I know you podcast. I wonder, you're probably in the podcast, loop of how things are going, but and even Leo Laporte's podcast now, they're trying to get you to do a subscription service to the podcast. Because if it
involves money, sorry, I'm not on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but some of the streaming
place where it's available for free, you'll find my podcast. But if you have to pay for it, no, I'm not paying on my end, and I don't expect anybody else to pay for it.
So, Hewie and I were talking about this the other day. Do you have any indication on your stats on how many people are actually listening to the podcast? Do you get any feedback? Like, do you know when you send it out and you send your podcast, is there any way of deciding how many?
Between 30 and 40 people
listen to it? Yeah. So the software does tell you how many people actually listen to the podcast?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That probably answers Hewie, your question there.
Now, my question is, what do you use to get it out there?
What software do you use?
What service is it?
Oh, give me 1 second. I'll tell you exactly what I use. Anchor. And Anchor then restreams on, 7 or 8 different places.
Okay.
But we ought to put this show at least, and maybe even the Monday one is it's got to be visual, so it's not more of a podcast. Although a lot of Leo Laporte stuff, they're demonstrating things, and you can't see them if you're listening on an audio podcast.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that. Olive says, Ron, can you move Huey's thumbnail so we can see him talk? Oh, why? The chat comments are covering him up. There you go, Huey. I'm sorry about that. All right, listen, it's
somebody asked me something the other day, and I got a big kick out of it. Somebody said, Huey, why do you have a rear view mirror on your screen? and I did explain it's a pop filter.
Yeah,
it's a filter that goes in front of the microphone. Let's see if I can get the microphone in here enough. It goes in front, and you'll see it. If Bob's got one too.
Yep.
A lot of it, when we speak, a lot of times when we say something and it has the letter P in it, the P pops, and this kind of filters it, and also a lot of your S's sizzle, and it keeps it from sizzling.
We are just a sizzling group, you know.
Yeah.
I still want to find a filter that actually prevents your breathing from not being picked up from that sensitive mic.
Oh, I just don't. I hold my breath.
All right, listen.
That's why the shirt, my face turns that same color orange.
All right, listen, everyone. It's an hour's gone by. We've had a good time. I mean, we have a good chat. We've learned all about Windows 11. I think we've helped some people. And so, listen, we will see everybody in an hour. You know, us three are going to see each other in an hour's time, and we're going to do our Chromebook session. So if you have,
I'm ready. I am so ready.
I know you're pumped. Yeah, you're ready to go.
It took Huey, me I didn't watch what you sent out in the email. Again, I want to see it live.
Well, then you weren't one of the 5 who've already watched it. So
right.
Mike Ungerman says, thanks. Thank you, Mike. We always appreciate positive comments, don't we? I always say if you have complaints, give them to Huey. Clark says it's 10:01. We got to go. So anyway, thanks everyone for coming. We will see you same time, same place next week at 9 o'clock. Remember, these segments are taped, so this is available as soon as we hang up. It's available for replay, and we will see you for sure on our Monday show this Monday. We have a big show coming up on Monday. And Bob, you're going to be talking a lot about ransomware.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know if you saw the other one I just sent you.
I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. You sent me lots, so it's on the list of things to do. So we'll do that. So anyway, listen, thanks everyone for coming.
Bye everybody. Thanks for coming.
See you guys in a few minutes, and just hang tough for a second after we end the broadcast.